adrenaline drops as the theater is quiet. I'm sitting in the dark with an internal riot. Splice in the memories of the years I was hired, watching the dailies in my head so I'm tired. Every compromise made, every boundary I blurred, every degradation scene where I swallowed the word. The inventory of shame is a mountain with tape, a prison of guilt in my mind, no escape. I'm drowning in flashbacks of all I permitted before the real crimes on the set were committed. Carrying the weight of this massive regret, I speak of the monster, the trap that was set. I walk through the doors of the sterile domain, translating the horror, projecting the pain. I played back the memory for the review board, the worst of the trauma the cameras ignored. I spoke of the violence, the trade, and the cost, but the censors just stared at the lens I had crossed. Insufficient evidence, the sterile voice said, just missing the nightmare that lives in my head. They don't see a crime, they just look at the role, illegally pardon the theft of my soul. Case closed, the projector goes dead. The system confirms every voice in my head. Fluorescent lighting a desk, in the chair I'm bleeding out loud, but there's nobody there. They look at my history, look at my past, and decide that a victim is never typecast. Because I played the submissive, because I was paid, they justify the horrific trade that was made. Institutional gaslight, a cold heavy blow. They tell me the predator's free to just go. The shame that I carry becomes a decree. The system agrees that the problem is me. Carrying the weight of this massive regret, I speak of the monster, the trap that was set. I walk through the trails of the sterile domain, translating the horror, projecting the pain. I play back the memory for the review board, the worst of the trauma the cameras ignored. I spoke of the violence, the trade, and the cost, but the censors just stared at the lines I had crossed. Insufficient evidence, the sterile voice said, dismissing the nightmare that lives in my head. They don't see the crime, they just look at the role, illegally pardon the theft of my soul. Case closed, the projector goes dead. The system confirms every voice in my head. Insufficient. 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 Your trauma is lacking, the narrative's flawed, and the studio is back, and you sold them your body, you gave them the rights. You don't get to cry when they turn out the lights. The predator walks, the files are stored, swept to the floor by the review board. The inventory is full, the evidence is zero.